Welcome to the Better Than a Stick Savage World Star Wars RPG stream, where we will be regaling you with a tale of adventure set in the High Republic era. I am the GM, Sea Cow Explosion, on the social medias where I can be found. And let me introduce you to our amazing players, starting with Alan. Take it away.
I'm your friendly neighborhood master, Alan. I'm going to be playing the character Gleebek, who is a very helpful and somewhat misguided door opener and other problem solver and obstruction remover. There we go. That's a good title. Yeah, that's what I do. Mm-hmm.
My name is Chris, aka Star Wars Lawyer, on all the social medias, and my player is Halem Saneve, a tortured, force sensitive, looking to restore justice throughout the galaxy.
My name is Sean. I am High Gain Sad on all socials, and I will be playing Vesper Quinn, who is a human force-sensitive wayseeker who's really good with technology and has a soft spot for droids.
My name is Brooke, or P-Dazzler on all of the social medias, and my character's name is Xena. She is a former, but also maybe current Night Sister with a tortured past. And all that.
We love our edgy backstories.
You gotta have an edgy backstory, at least one per group minimum. You can't have a game without it.
What is Star Wars if not hot people in pain persevering?
That's going in the trailer.
We find ourselves on Nar Shaddaa, a bristling and questionable planet, a port of goods, some legitimate, some illicit, and in almost all cases, some with a degree of requested secrecy that has been paid for. Discretion is the utmost service in this place, and for one reason or another, you all are here. Whether that's discretion you sought out or not, we'll have to see. Halem, what has brought you to the Smugglers' Moon of Nar Shaddaa? Why are you here?
I'm searching for something I'm not sure that can actually be found in this galaxy, but if I'm gonna find a clue, it'll be here.
All right. You are in the terminal, surprisingly empty, only a handful of people around, about a dozen or so. You are really just waiting your time to board a transport and get elsewhere. You feel something, a twinge, a disturbance in the force. Small, subtle. The tinklings of the dark side at work somewhere nearby. Faint, but growing slightly stronger. What do you do?
I seek out a corner so my back is to the wall. I sit and I meditate to discern the source of said dark side.
All right. Vesper, what has brought you to Nar Shaddaa?
Well, Vesper just recently became a wayseeker. He just recently left Coruscant and left the Jedi Order to kind of go out on his own and kind of maybe explore a little bit, explore the galaxy. Right now, he's just kind of moving from place to place, trying not to be noticed, trying not to draw attention to himself, but also just examining and trying to kind of see what the galaxy holds for him and perhaps find a new path.
You are standing around the terminal. Not too many people here. A few figures of various reputability standing about. Most people, though, just either purchasing a passage on a transport, waiting around for one, or coming in and going because there's still a good bit of time until the transport leaves. When you can feel a faint bit of the dark side, a unnatural disturbance, minute, but growing stronger, slowly. It's seemingly heading in your direction.
And you said there's kind of people around, just kind of like doing like, are these like merchants? Are we talking like bounty hunters? What kind of people?
They're the normal sort of folk for Nar Shaddaa, which could mean anywhere from smuggler to bounty hunter to assassin to refugee. But everyone immediately around you in the area just sort of looks like they belong.
Sure.
The feeling is definitely coming from somewhere outside of the terminal you're in.
And you said it's moving towards me?
It's getting stronger, so yeah.
I think that Vesper would just sit and wait and meditate and kind of observe, people watch, see if he can pick it out of the crowd, but essentially wait for something to happen. He's not the type to rush in head first without thinking.
Okay. Xena, what brings you to Nar Shaddaa?
So, Xena just recently made the voyage to the Outer Rim. She took a transport that landed her on Starlight Beacon, but she did not feel right about being there, so she took another little transport over to Nar Shaddaa, and is just kind of hiding out, trying to figure out what she wants to do next, maybe look for work.
The classic life of the drifter mercenary.
Yep.
Nice. Being in tune with the Force as you are, sitting in the terminal waiting for transport off of Nar Shaddaa, or at least just somewhere else, because things just... Well, there's a little bit too much here, which means there's not enough that really stands out. When you can feel a inkling of the dark side intruding into your awareness, distant at first, you almost have to wonder if it's real or just the accumulated energy of this many cutthroats and scoundrels. But no, that is dark side activity approaching quickly, but still a ways off, or relatively weak. But either way, coming in the direction of this terminal. What do you do?
Xena's a very keep to herself kind of person as well. So she is she's just gonna be sitting for now. She's got her little red like hood scarf thing wrapped around because she doesn't like to, make it open that she's from Dathomir, but she still has her little like night sister thing from home. And she's got her little drink she took from whatever cantina she came from. And so I think she's gonna look around a little bit to see if there's anything going on, but isn't gonna make any moves just yet.
Okay. Roll notice.
Wait, where is this? Wait, hold on.
If you're looking at your character sheet, it would be under your skills. So the way skill checks are going to work is you're going to roll whatever the die associated with notice is. That's going to be under your skills. And then you're also going to roll an additional d6, which is your wild die. And you're going to take the higher of the two.
They're all white except for the 4.
The 4 is the one you're going to roll then.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
So okay. Then a d4 and a d6 and take the higher.
So I'm going to roll both?
Yes.
Yep.
And then I have a +2 next to mine.
Oh, because you have there's an edge that gives you a +2 to notice. So you're going to add that +2 only to the d4.
Okay.
And if the 6 is higher, you still take that.
Okay. Got it. So the higher of the 2?
Right.
Okay.
Yep.
So 6.
Awesome.
Okay. Which die was that?
The d6.
Oh, roll again.
Yep, so then you get to roll the d6 and add it again. So anytime you roll the highest number on a die, you roll that die again and add it to the previous roll.
I see. Okay.
Yep.
6.
Amazing.
So I add. Do I add 2 to that too? Then.
No, she's rolling
Or
again.
just 6.
No, you would just keep rolling the d6. Let's see how long
you don't roll a 6.
Until I don't roll a 6.
12 right now.
Yeah, you see through space and time.
Oh, 4. Okay, I got a 4 that time.
Okay, so that's what, 16?
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's a success
that'd
with
be
3 raises.
Yeah. So, I'm actually going to give you a little something extra in a moment for that. But for now, you can see that there are two other individuals in here who are a little out of place for the fact that you catch at just the right moment where one of them steps back into a corner and has the look of somebody who's beginning to internally focus, meditate. Okay. The person you see, would you please describe Halem? What does Xena see?
She sees a dark-skinned human male with black locks down to his shoulders, the gray tunic with the sleeves cut out, white dirtied wraps around his forearms and to his knuckles, and gray roughed up bottoms.
The other one, who is essentially doing the same thing but trying to be a little bit more nonchalant about it, just sitting in one of the seats in this terminal. Vesper, please describe yourself.
I am wearing they look kind of like Jedi robes, but they look like they haven't really been washed in a while. And he looks like he's been like working in them. He's got kind of like grease stains and whatnot on them. He has a satchel over his shoulder that looks like it is a tool bag. He has kind of like medium length black hair that's been pulled behind his head in a ponytail. And he's just kind of like dirty, like engine, like, kind of looks like he's been working on engines, and he has a pair of goggles on his head.
Are you a human?
Yes.
Character? Okay.
Sorry.
Two people, obviously, with a bit of, the eyes closed and inward focus. You would be willing to guess somebody who can sense the Force, despite only one of them looking like they might be previously involved in the Order. But, what do you do?
How close are they to each other? Like, can we all, like, see each other in the same...
Terminal is relatively small, so yeah.
I don't want to approach either of them yet, but I think I'm going to stand up and kind of, like, walk away from my seat and kind of, like, create more, like, open space between the three of us. So, like, I'm, like, centered myself so I can face both of them, but I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to stand up and be like, see what the vibe is.
Okay. So you were ready for a standoff with these two, basically.
Just in case.
Yeah. Do you have your saber visible and on you?
Yeah, I'll have it on me, but it's hidden under my robes.
Got a whole bunch of not actually Jedi refugees here, which is phenomenal.
For clarity, like, Vesper is, like, very obviously just like a dirty Jedi. Like, he's still wearing Jedi robes, and it's very clear to everybody that he's definitely a Jedi, even though he's, like, not really doing stuff with the Order. But either he's a Jedi or he stole clothes from the Jedi.
Okay. Which usually doesn't go over well for people, so...
Right.
Alright. The dark side presence increases, growing closer, and sooner than any of you really expect, the door to the terminal just opens. It's an auto door, so the person trying to burst through it actually clips the edge of the door, running in, and a rather short for a Trandoshan, clutching some sort of metal case, comes running through. They seem to be in a panic. They quickly look around the room, and their eyes seem to lock not on you, Vesper, but on your Jedi's robes, and they run towards you. Do you happen to speak Trandoshan?
Definitely not.
Yeah. And they come up to you and start frantically saying something.
Listen, little fella, I don't speak whatever that is you're speaking. You speak basic?
Xena, because you had seen everything going on in here, you are the first to notice, before it ever happens, there are two people coming in mere moments behind this Trandoshan. Each of them is dressed head to toe in black armor, visors they look like not just bounty hunters, but probably more like mercenaries. You are able to see both of them in the process of unholstering blasters, not leveled, but they are getting ready to point them into this room, maybe at the Trandoshan, maybe not, but they definitely don't look like what little you could claim Nar Shaddaa has of law enforcement. They look like competent and capable hired guns. And they look like they are in the shoot first, worry about who's in the room business later. What do you do, Xena?
I think I start by like just putting my hand on my forehead and I'm like, oh my god, this is not what I intended on happening today. I don't want to do anything yet though.
Okay.
So I don't pull anything out. I just kind of like stand my ground where I am.
Being a hero is a quick way to get yourself hurt.
Oh, it
That
really
stuff's
is.
dangerous.
It's terrible for one's health. I would like a notice roll from both Halem and Vesper.
Okay, so I roll D4.
Potentially depends on what your notice skill is.
My notice is 4.
Okay, so you would roll a D4 and a D6.
Okay, I rolled D4.
Every time you make a skill roll or attribute roll, as what's called a wild card, basically you are a hero, a important member of the story. You're a little bit luckier than everybody else, so you have a better chance to succeed. So you roll a extra D6 and take the better with everything you do. Whereas all the mooks and goons you're fighting, poor little bastards, only get to roll a die that they have assigned, no D6.
Okay. I rolled a D4 and got 4.
So you would actually roll that D4 again and add them together. And you can keep doing that as long as you keep rolling 4s.
Okay, I got a 3 the second time.
Okay, so 7.
All right,
and
now
because pretty much everything in this game is designed with target number 4 is the baseline for success. There's a few exceptions, but we'll get to that when they happen. So that would mean on a 4 is a basic success.
I got a 4 on the 6.
Okay. So then we would take the 7 that you rolled from the D4, and that would be your roll because that is the higher of the two.
Okay, got it.
But that is still enough that Halem and Vesper, you are both distracted by the Trandoshan that came running through, frantically saying something. They look panicked. You kind of get a I need help vibe, but not quite sure from what. Until you notice, stepping through the threshold of the doorway into the terminal, 2 black armored figures with pistols just about drawn up, blasters ready and pointed in Vesper, as far as you can tell, either your direction or the direction of the Trandoshan, maybe both. Halem, you are well off to the side and safe. You could just choose to not get involved and not be in the line of fire, most likely. And a casual shooting in Nar Shaddaa is hardly anything to get worked up over.
Okay. Questions. How many exits are there to the room?
2. One way into the terminal, and one way onto the ship when it eventually shows up to board.
Okay.
Actually, it's there right now, it's just not boarding yet. Evidently they're doing maintenance or something before it takes off.
Okay, how far away am I from the armored people?
Probably a good 10 meters or so. Enough that you could run up to them real quick if you needed to, but you're also far enough away that you're not threatened immediately by them.
Okay. Are they in a position where, are their backs towards me? Are they far enough into the terminal that their backs are towards me, or is
Not
it kind
yet.
of parallel?
They're just coming through, so it's kind of their side is to you. They haven't really checked their corners yet. You, fortunately, just kind of noticed them exactly at the moment they came in, so you caught basically them leading before they had a chance to do any sort of tactical check the corners, and also they seem very focused on what's directly in front of them.
Okay, so I stand up and I put my back towards the wall so I'm facing them, have one hand on my hip and one foot on the wall.
Okay. You're getting ready to jump, aren't you?
I'm ready to jump if necessary.
What about you, Vesper?
As I see them enter, I kind of pick up on the vibe, and I kind of like push the little one behind me, and I step in front of them, And I say, fellas, there's no need for violence and shooting up the place. Let's just talk this out.
Give me a, is that convince?
I think it's persuasion.
Persuasion. I'm playing entirely too many games right now to keep the names of skills that do the exact same thing straight.
Right. Oof. Cowabunga it is. That's a 2.
Nice. So we are going to get into the initiative phase of things. You guys won't be able to see initiative, so I'll have to call it out, and we will address that next time. Okay, that's a good way to start things. You put the Trandoshan behind you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's gonna bite me in the ass. Possibly, literally.
Probably not. Yeah. I don't think he's that short.
I mean, I won't kill you right away.
Good.
Might wait a minute or two.
Fantastic.
Is there anything modifying the roll to hit you, or is it just target number 4 for getting shot at for you?
Yeah, it's target number 4. I don't have any kind of deflection up.
Okay. Each of them fires off a shot from their blaster. Fortunately, not too heavy. One of them goes a little bit wide. The having shot right where the Trandoshan was a moment ago. The other one hitting you off center. That is 7 damage.
Oof. What's my toughness?
That is your toughness?
So I was saying, what's my toughness?
Oh, okay.
It's been a great game, guys. So that's a 5 toughness, so I'm gonna be
Okay,
shaken.
so you're shaken.
Yeah.
All right, now for explanation. This will make more sense once you actually get hurt. But basically, you have your toughness on your character. If I deal enough damage to meet your toughness or roll above, you are shaken. If I get a raise, and this applies to you guys as well, but if I get a raise, meaning I deal 4 or more damage above your toughness, you also take a wound. This will make more sense as you get horrifically injured, because that's what happens to player characters in games. But that is the gist of it so far. But when you have the shaken condition, you basically can't do much other than, if I remember correctly, take a move action on your turn unless you successfully roll to become unshaken. Vesper, it is your turn, and you are starting it out shaken. When you are shaken, you can either make a spirit roll to try to remove shaken, or you can spend a Benny. I should have stated this in the beginning. Everybody starts with 3 Bennies. They're basically just a meta currency you can use to do stuff.
So I got an 8 to unshake. So Vesper takes a shot on the shoulder and grits his teeth and turns back and says, "That was a mistake, friend." And you see that he ignites a saber with a blue blade, whose ignition sound sounds more like an engine firing up than a lightsaber.
It's so pretty.
Nice.
As he ignites his crossguard saber, he charges the first one, and he's actually going to swing to destroy his blaster. He's not going to actually swing to cut him down.
Okay.
So he gets a 10. I forget what the rules are on destroying items. There's rules for sundering.
There are, but we're not going to bother looking it up right now. You're just going to roll damage, and I'm going to see if I like the number.
I love it! Alright. So strength plus d6 is 8. So, for his lightsaber attack, that is going to be a 14.
Oh yeah, that against just a blaster. You have no problem coming in and just cutting the blaster at the barrel partway into the clip on it. It's not going to function anytime soon.
And I say, back down. Can I roll to intimidate?
Technically, you have to declare that before because of multi-action penalties, if I remember correctly, but I will allow it at double the multi-action penalty.
Alright, that's fair.
This once, because I want to do as many die rolls as possible to get rules familiarity going.
I know this sounds like BS because I'm rolling off screen, but it exploded twice. That's a 13.
You've got nothing on some of the people I've played with. You're fine. We're not at mistrust levels yet.
Yet.
He's definitely taken aback. Was not expecting somebody with a lightsaber to just up and chop their blaster in half and then give him the eye and tell him they probably should skedaddle. You can't tell if they're out of the fight yet, but they are definitely questioning every decision in life leading them up to this moment. They are shaken for now. And Xena, because of the way you positioned yourself, Nothing says you have to get involved here, but evidently there is now a lightsaber on blaster duel going on while some guys are indiscriminately attempting to shoot up the place. Because you had such forewarning and were able to position yourself, you have what we will call the drop. These guys are not ready for you to be as ready as you are, so basically you can surprise attack them.
Okay.
Which gives you bonuses to rolls if you choose to get yourself involved.
Questions. How tall is the ceiling of the place that we're in?
About 10 feet.
That is how you Star Wars.
Hell yeah.
Because it's like we're in like a kind of a hangar terminal type deal, right? Is there anything on the ceiling?
Oh yeah, pipes and all sorts of stuff. What are you looking for?
Something heavy.
There's definitely something heavy and probably conveniently positioned because that is how this sort of thing works.
Okay, perfect. So I don't want to show my hand. I don't want to pull my lightsaber out or anything yet, or like really show that I'm like capable of anything. So I want to try to like have something fall from the ceiling conveniently without looking like I'm the one that pulled it down onto them.
So basically you're going to use the force to pull some stuff off the ceiling and clock a dude.
Yeah.
Okay. So, one quick rules explanation so you can decide your target.
Mm-hmm.
If a character is already shaken and they take enough damage to get through their toughness, they take a wound.
Okay.
If they take enough to get through their toughness but not enough to harm them, then they end up shaken. Basically, you have an easier chance of knocking out the shaken guy than the non-shaken guy, but you might also make the other guy unable to act as well.
Do you want to hit the one that's shaken, or do you want to hit the one that's stirred?
Yeah, basically.
How far apart are these two guys?
They're
each
close.
other?
They're actually right next to each other.
Okay, I'm gonna try for the guy that's not, the other guy that's not shaken.
Yeah, that would be a force use of telekinesis, I believe. Okay, let's go for it. And add +2 to your roll because of the having the drop.
So it says faith roll is D6.
Yes, we're reflavoring that as the force.
Yep.
So I'm rolling just a D6.
Correct. Well,
Okay.
2d6 and take the higher.
Okay. 3.
That was your best on both of them?
I got a 3
wow.
and then a 2.
Wait, you got a +2. You're getting a +2 still.
Oh, I am? Okay, so then that...
Because,
so 5.
From the drop, I'm giving you a +2.
Oh, right.
Okay, yeah. In that case, does telekinesis power have a damage assigned to it, or...
It has a strength of D10.
Okay.
So basically, they can use it to make a strength check, and they function on the strength of the power rather than their own strength.
Okay, and since you're pulling an object down, you'd use the improvised... So I'm going to say roll a d6 and a d10 for your damage.
Okay.
D6 seems good for random heavy ceiling objects.
Yeah.
So I roll both of them, a 6 and a 10?
Yep, and these still explode, but you're adding them together into one total.
Okay.
And this is why Savage Worlds can get ridiculous, because you randomly deal 54 damage with a single attack. Blow up a spaceship.
I got 43. Is that right?
Hold on. How?
Would you roll?
Yeah, did I roll the wrong dice?
No, but did you...
My D6 was a 3, and my D10 was a 40.
4.
Oh.
7.
Oh, that's why.
Oh.
Yeah.
Got it. 7.
So, a 4 and a 3, so 7.
Yeah.
Okay. As you reach out with the force, trying to be discreet about it, pipe swings down. Random act of fate, evidently, as one of them gets clocked with the pipe, stumbling back, losing their clear line of sight, and then Halem.
I use the force to hit the other one with the pipe.
All right. Give me that force roll.
So my faith is a D8.
All right, so you would roll a D8 and a D6 and take the higher.
Okay, D8 and D6 and take the higher. Okay, I got a 8 on the 8 and a 3 on the 6.
Okay, and you would re-roll the 8.
Okay.
You don't actually need to, because you won't get additional benefits beyond that in this exact circumstance.
Okay. But in the future.
In the future, yeah. as the pipe hits one and then, against all odds, bounces somehow and just clocks the guy that was already off his mental and emotional balance, and he just goes down hard.
So Vesper's like engaged combat, and then all of a sudden these pipes start.
Yeah.
It's like, what? What the hell's
How
going
did I
on
end
here?
up in a pachinko machine?
Yeah. That would be the end of the initiative round, and then basically I would redeal cards, or we would redraw cards for initiative. And
So every round you do again.
Yep.
Like you
And
redo
then
initiative. Okay.
anytime a Joker is drawn, we shuffle the deck after the end of that round, and there are some special things that happen with the Joker. There are some edges that give bonuses, which that's actually a house rule that I will discuss later if anybody deals with those edges. So basically, redealing cards. Again, you guys can't see the initiative, but first up would be Halem, then Bad Guys, then Vesper, then Zeke. But for now, Halem, there's one more of them.
Okay. This is the one that got hit with the pipe first, right?
Yep, so this one is shaken, the other one is basically knocked out or dead.
No longer stirred.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, no longer stirred.
I walk up behind him, place my right hand on his shoulder, and then say, "Why don't we sit down and have a chat about this?"
I already tried that.
Circumstances have changed, though.
That's true.
Give me a, what was that, persuasion, I think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My
You don't have
persuasion is
Chris's
an
voice.
8. So roll an 8 and a 6.
Yep.
Okay. I got a 2 on the 8 and a 4 on the 6.
The mercenary regaining their balance a little bit, but they kind of relax their hand. The blaster is just sort of dangling off of one figure that's still in the trigger well, and they give the universal sign for I surrender.
I take the blaster, put it in, I guess, the back part of my belt, and knock out the mercenary. Is that what the word we're going with?
Okay.
Yeah, mercenary.
I'm just gonna allow that. So we should talk about this later, maybe.
Nap time.
Yeah.
When you
now-
wake up and are ready to make better decisions with your life.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think at this point I would look over at Halem and say, well done. I'm Vesper.
You're a Jedi.
I thought that was blatantly obvious between the robes and the saber, but
Oh yeah, okay. I see where this conversation is going. The Trandoshan, I take it you don't speak Trandoshan.
no, I missed that class.
Well, I thought you Jedi knew everything. So I'll have a conversation with him and find out what's going on.
All right. Well, I'd be inclined to know.
No, you're good.
While these two are bickering, essentially, Xena, are you doing anything, or still just hanging out in the back, kind of?
I'm just gonna walk over to like the one guy who was knocked out and still has like the blaster like kind of in his hand. I'm just gonna
Okay.
like kick it and like kick it across the room, just in
Okay.
case.
Vesper is like having a hard time coming to terms with the fact that these kids are just like have done this better than he did and aren't even giving him the time of day despite him being a Jedi. And he's like, this is why I left. I thought it would be better out here than back at the temple, and now nobody gives a shit here either. But he then would just lean over to Xena and be like, hello? Do you have business here with these men?
They should really call someone about those pipes. It's a little. You think we should
I
get some
didn't
maintenance?
even bring up the pipes, but now that you did, it's a little bit suspicious.
I do know what you're talking about.
Ha! That's vague and unconvincing. My name's Vesper, once again. Do you have one of those?
A name,
A name, yes, exactly.
perhaps. Why do you want to know?
Nice to meet you, perhaps.
Okay.
This has been a great conversation.
Well,
Thank you for giving me more than 2 sentences before walking off, unlike the other gentleman. Appreciate it.
I heard that.
You were supposed to.
Man.
Halen,
that
you said
too.
you were talking to the Trandoshan?
Yes, talking to the Trandoshan. Okay, so question. I have both empathy and mind link, and basically what I want to do is use that to essentially feel out the situation without having to exactly translate.
Okay, give me a just roll spirit or smarts. Take your pick.
Okay, spirit is 8, smarts is 6. I'm assuming I want to roll the 8.
Generally, yeah.
Okay.
Higher number better, typically.
Okay, so roll an
Technically,
8.
that's not exactly correct. I have a spreadsheet for that, but don't worry about that.
Okay, so still roll the 8 and the 6 because main character syndrome.
Yeah.
Got it.
Exactly.
Amazing.
Nailed it.
All right, I got a 4 and a 2.
Okay. With those, though, you're able to kind of asking them questions and kind of trying to communicate more of a feeling, and them frantically communicating back. They are shaking, gesticulating. They keep looking to the door, clutching that case to them, which you notice basically looks like a armored briefcase that is actually has a mag cuff attached to their wrist. That is a secure container that they are meant to hold. And they are terrified. But something you gather from them, from the feeling, is they are not terrified for themselves. They are terrified for that case. And something is coming to get it.
All right.
So
Well,
just to be clear, that is not a bomb. In that case, because I do not want to be here. If there is one.
I mean, you were bickering with, or you were chatting with the dirty Jedi. This Halen's been doing his own thing while you were talking about maintenance and stuff. But
The
hopefully it's not a
pipes
bomb. Or it is.
Who's in charge of maintenance around this place?
Probably nobody. It's Nar Shaddaa.
I was kind of hoping that the pipes were going to be pulled down and Gleebek was just going to fall out of the pipes.
I was tempted.
I'd have been able to roll with it.
Yep. We got a Gleebek coming in soon, though.
Whatever.
But
does he say who the mercs were?
since you're getting more of a feeling than anything, all you can tell is that they were chasing him. But the one thing you can definitely pick up is he is still afraid of someone coming after him or something, which means the mercenaries were not it. They were the first of something. They were not the only something.
Okay. All right. So I bring the Trandoshan and myself back over to how much of Xena's face can I see? Like, is it enough that I can tell that she's from Dathomir, or no?
I mean, she's got her like hood up and her scarf, and it's. I guess. I mean, if it's well lit, then you could probably see. That's fine.
Okay.
Dirty lighting, but not dim.
Okay. All right. So I bring the Trandoshan and myself over to the Red Hood and the Jedi, and I explain that this isn't over.
I love how he says Jedi like it's something that you can catch and don't want to have.
That's fair.
I think it's fungal. Like,
Yes, well, these things don't tend to end quickly and quietly, so I imagine there's more coming. Do we know anything about what's in the case?
Whatever it is, it's supposed to be heavily protected, and they are supposed to have it.
I don't know if there's a mechanic for this, Seacal. This is probably just going to be a GM ruling, since you were saying earlier that we were sensing this dark side presence that was closing in. Am I sensing that it's coming from either the Trandoshan or the case? I'm more so seeing if it's coming from the case.
now that you are taking a moment to focus, you realize that there is a dark side presence coming from within the case itself. Extremely faint, but present. There is a more powerful dark side presence still approaching the terminal. Much closer.
Oh, look at my wrist. Time to go. What time is the shuttle that we were all waiting on supposed to arrive?
Oh, it's still waiting on repair, so it's not supposed to take off yet. But it's no time like the presence as long as you can get him to open the doors, right?
Yeah.
All of you give me a notice roll.
That is a 5.
Really?
Don't forget
dice are not liking you.
Oh,
tonight.
5. 3
I was
plus
gonna say,
2.
don't forget
Sorry,
plus
5.
2 for notice.
5.
That's
I
right.
got a 4 on the 4 and a 6 on the 6. So I'm gonna re-roll both of those.
Okay.
And then I got a 1 and a 2. So 5 on the 4 and 8 on the 6.
So you
Okay.
take the 8 because it's higher.
Yeah.
Yep. In that case, all of you are able to see, partially because all of you are able to sense the presence of force activity, as those two mercenaries, thermal detonators, which click and float up. Now, the way explosive stuff works in this game is basically you make an agility roll to take less damage or maybe negate damage. However, because you got a raise on your notice roll, Halem, I'm going to give you a... You can take one action if you've got some cool idea of something you want to do with those two thermal detonators basically activating and just floating up.
Question: since that is technically should have activated my danger sense, do I get
You're
another
correct.
+2 on that to do something else? So
Okay.
that would. Am I still at one action?
I'll give you one action with a bonus, with your danger sense bonus to the roll. How's that sound? Sound fair?
Okay. All right.
Gives you
So
a 50% chance on a D4. That's
Basically,
not bad.
yeah.
right. So
And you can tell that dark side presence is
I am
very
going
close
to.
outside.
I can tell that it's outside, but I can't tell where it's outside.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Are there any people near me besides Red Hood and Jedi
At this
in
point,
the Trandoshan?
given the small battle that just took place, everybody's kind of taken off to the sides of the room and tried to find some cover in case accidental getting shot in the crossfire occurs.
Working very hard to
okay.
look like they're not involved.
Yeah, everyone's basically trying to either stick to a shadow, stay off to the side, but for two thermal detonators going off, there's definitely people still in range.
All right, then. I am going to grab the Trandoshan and... Nope, can't do that. Can't do that all at once. Okay, so I am going to...
Try.
Oh, yeah,
It's
that's
called.
what I'm going to do.
Let me hear what you want to do. Let's not worry about what you can do. Let's hear what you want to do.
What I wanted to do was, grab the Trandoshan and leap backwards while also pulling on Red Hood and Jedi.
So getting them all further across the room?
Yes.
Okay.
It's the Force. You're not limited by the number of hands you own.
Yeah.
Well, no, but when you say one action,
Yeah, that's what I
think
said,
the
but...
jump is the one action and not both.
The jump is your move, though. That's not an action. You can
Oh,
still
okay.
That's correct. Thank you, rules lawyer. So yeah, you can
Okay.
move. That'd be the jump plus the moving people. So
Okay.
yeah, that I'm actually going to say with your forewarning, you are able to basically fling the lot of you across the room.
Hell yeah,
And because of that, I'm going to say you two. I'm pointing at you on my screen. I don't know what it is on the other screen. We'll figure that out someday. You can resist if you want, but noticing the thermal detonators that have been primed and just loaded up, when you are being flung away from them by the Force, are you going to resist that or go with it?
I'm gonna not, because I'm gonna gather very quickly that this is the best route to not dying.
Xena?
Yeah, I'm gonna. Maybe I'll be like surprised for a sec, but I'm just gonna let go with
Okay.
flow.
In that case, since neither of you need to make an agility roll, I will give each of you a action to react to said thermal detonators, since you no longer need to jump out of the way because somebody's doing that for you.
I wish I had taken that power.
That's the way every RPG ever goes.
Right. Yeah, I don't have much I can do in this situation.
Xena, you got anything?
How close are the detonators to the door? Like the door that the mercenaries came in
not
from?
far. They're a few feet, maybe.
And what's outside the door? Do I know? Like, what's outside the terminal? Is it just the exit, or is it like another part of the building?
It's the exit. It just kind of leads outside into colony area.
And do we know how long it is until these
How
things
populated is it?
detonate?
How populate? Could be people around, but also you just had some gun-toting mercenaries come through, so chances are anybody hearing blaster fire would have cleared the area, most likely.
That's true.
Okay. And there's
Most likely, at the very least, there are probably fewer people outside than there are inside.
can I try to push them out through the door before they go
Yep.
up?
Absolutely. Give me that force roll.
All right, I'm gonna do that then. I'm gonna try at least. Okay, wait. Do I roll a d6? I got a 2.
The 2 was the highest on both dice.
Oh wait, what do I roll? A d6 and what? Oh, I forgot about the d10. Wait.
No.
Or the 4.
Yeah, it'd be whatever your
Okay.
force is, and then the wild die d6.
Okay, I got a 2 on the d4 as well.
Just bad rolls, unfortunately,
Yeah.
they happen. 2 detonators go off. You are all outside of the direct blast of it, but you are blinded for a moment as the sound is deafening. The terminal is blasted into pieces in the front. Fortunately, most of the people are off to the side. While there are some injuries, at the very least, it doesn't look like there's anybody that was immediately in the blast area. People had scrambled to the sides enough that during your fight that they weren't directly next to those going off, and you are all well away from the detonation on the opposite side. But with the ceiling partially collapsed, dust in the air, you feel that dark side presence right outside. As a red blade cuts through the dust.
Nice. All right.
Well timed.
We should probably do
Gleebek.
something about that.
You are working on the ship. You were doing some routine maintenance, things like making sure the
But I
engine
was put
doesn't
so many more
explode.
parts in this thing than they actually need to operate. There's these inhibitors, and there's governors, and all these things. It makes everything so slow.
At first you think part of the ship exploded, but no, that's not the part you were working on. That came from outside the ship. That came from the terminal.
Okay, let's go ask him. And so Gleebek is always accompanied by like a sort of a BB style droid, and so he literally hops up onto the head of said droid and rolls around on it like Aang from Last Airbender.
Nice.
And so the doors for the ship and open up, and he wheels out into the hangar bay. Just point of clarification: would you prefer that I work in like this whole space in general, or that I am connected to the ship?
You're traveling about, so probably the ship at this point.
Okay,
You're making your way.
that makes it easier. Now I don't have to yell at people for breaking my station.
The door opens and there is just dust and heat come flooding into the area. To you three who were out there, you can see the unmistakable glow of a red blade, as can you, Gleebek, as that dark force presence is approaching. Visibility is terrible, but you can still sense essentially what's going on, and you are able to, at the very least, hear, if not clearly see, the door to that transport opening. And you hear a voice saying,
What did you do?
I immediately look over and I say, is this craft airworthy?
Oh, yeah. There was all kinds of stuff making it really slow. I took it all right.
I need it fired up pronto.
Okay.
Do we have a pilot?
We do now, it's you.
Gleebek's going to be a great pilot. It's going to be fun. For me.
I mean, there was a pilot on the transport. There's a nominal crew, not much, but enough of one to get.
Pilot's going to be so mad at me.
Yeah, you just need to convince the pilot to take off.
All right, so in the door, you see what looks sort of like a leather bell with a hat and ears. And so he is in a jacket that's too big and boots that are too big and coveralls underneath that. And there's like a scarf wrapped around and goggles and hat and grease stains and ears. Just like big sort of like desert fox looking kind of ears sitting on top of a droid.
That's so good.
All right.
Yeah, we're ready to fly. Does anybody ready to leave?
Yes!
Yeah.
Immediately.
What do you think?
I don't know what's going on out here. It looks like there was some kind of explosion. It was kind of small.
Anybody trying to do anything other than just hightailing it onto that ship?
Did the explosion break the ceiling? No, it looks like that happened first.
Yeah.
Yeah. You should really get that checked out.
Oh, hello.
And he's just waving at the red lightsaber guy.
I'm Gleebek. How are you?
Yeah,
Okay.
Vesper's not trying to tango with the Dark Jedi right now, so
I am going to try something as I am going to attempt a mind link with the dark side user.
Okay, how does that work, actually?
Forms an emotional bond between himself and the target with a successful arcane skill versus spirit roll, knows the target's emotional state and most basic service thoughts, and gains +1 to intimidation, persuasion, performance, or taunt rolls against him.
Okay, so basically it's kind of just very basic mind reading.
Yeah.
Well, you can, even without empathy, you can tell that their intent is probably hostile.
Mm-hmm.
You definitely don't need to use empathy to figure that out.
Yeah.
And those are separate powers, so they would do different things. I will let you, you can attempt the mind link.
Okay.
It just depends on whether or not they are willing to talk.
Okay. All right. D8, D6.
All right.
Survey says, wait, 6 on the 6 and a 2 on the 8, so we'll re-roll the 6. And got another 6. And got a 1. So that's 13, right? 6, 6, 1. Yeah, 13.
All right. You form the connection. What do you ask them?
Can you try not to kill me next time? Okay, no, but who are you and what do you want?
The Trandoshan, and you may leave.
Yeah, considering that you just tried to blow me up, I don't see that as an option. Why do you want the Trandoshan?
Were you going to be making your way to the ship while doing this? Because you can do both.
Oh, my thoughts were we were like on the ramp. Like
Okay,
we're like
yeah.
getting in the ship.
Basically, yeah. Okay. They do not respond with words. They respond by stalking towards you. And with a evidently raise of their hand, the dust that had been filling this place just moves to the sides. The entire area just washed clean by a wave of pressure. And you can hear something not quite right with the ship. It sounds like the grapples that keep the ship locked in place are beginning to crush.
Hey, Jedi, I think you're kind of needed over here.
So I'm gonna try and kind of assess the situation really quick. So basically like the things that are holding the ship to the hangar, those are being crushed. He's basically trying to hold the ship here.
Yep.
All right. Vesper is going to reach out with the Force, and he is basically going to try and interrupt this Force user's connection with the Force. One of my powers is boost lower trait, so I'm going to try and lower his spirit.
Okay.
Wool blanket on a fire.
Basically, that is a 5.
Okay. And the sound of the gears, or gear being compressed, stops. And they look actually a little confused for a moment. Meanwhile, Gleebek and Xena, what are you two doing? The two apparent, well, a Jedi and some guy who was carrying a Trandoshan, are evidently dealing with a guy with a red lightsaber, which historically speaking, you at least know is bad, usually.
I don't.
Oh, you don't? You don't.
Gleebek does not have that context.
Gotcha. So your general knowledge is very different than other people's. Okay.
That's a cool color.
Yeah.
I've never seen that one before.
Xeno, what are you doing?
I guess I'll turn to Gleebek and be like, "Where's the pilot?"
Oh, who's getting a break?
And then he points onto past red lightsaber guy.
Can you fly a ship?
I think so.
Then let's get out of here.
Gleebek's gonna
I get
steal
to
a ship!
fly?
Yes! Yeah, you do.
Come on, level 7.
And so then,
What are you doing, Xena? You have evidently convinced your new pilot to take over the ship.
I guess I was right inside, so I can kind of see what's happening, but I'm not on the ramp anymore. Are Vesper and Halem both on the ramp still?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the loading ramp which is actually part of the ship.
is there anybody else rushing up the ramp, or is it just
No,
is everybody
at
else
this
just
point, everybody else
nope,
is
I'm
rushing
good.
out of the
Okay.
area. Dark Jedi heading towards the transport will catch the next one.
Yeah.
Alright, so I'm just gonna run to the doorway and be like, alright, so last time I checked, red equals bat, so can we go? We're getting the ship started.
Wrap it up.
Let's go.
That's directed at you two.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm on board.
Okay.
Who's got the Trandoshan?
I toss the Trandoshan to Xena and say, get him stowed, and then I pull out the blaster that's in my belt and I fire it at the Dark Jedi.
Firing blasters at lightsabers. This is definitely good for our health.
Yeah. Give me that shooting roll.
Okay, my shooting is a 4. I don't know if what I'm going to do next, anticipating what is about to happen, is going to count as multi-action. But
Are you expecting it to get deflected is my first question.
yes.
Okay, in that case it would be multi-action, so you would do that with a -1 penalty.
Okay. What, I guess, skill or attribute would go with my lightsaber?
That would be fighting.
Fighting.
Fighting. Okay. So should I do the shooting first and then I'll do the fighting after?
Yep. Shooting first, since that's what
Okay.
you're opening with.
All right.
And you're
D4.
expecting it to get deflected and then doing a thing after that.
Okay. D4, D6 roll. The 4 is a 1. The 6 is a 6. So I'll roll that 6 again.
We're gonna turn a blaster ball
Yeah.
into a ping pong ball.
And I got a 4. So that's 10. So that's a 10.
You lowered his spirit.
I sure did. By 1 die type.
The blaster bolt actually clips him, distracted as he is at suddenly his power not working against the landing claw. The bolt just barely catches him, actually, burning through his cape and glancing against the armor. Not hurt so much as really annoyed as suddenly focuses back on you. What was your other action going to be?
I mean, I was expecting him to deflect the lightsaber.
Yeah,
the
so was
bolt
I,
back.
but then you went and rolled really well.
I mean, my other lightsaber action was, as Alan said, make it a ping pong ball because I was
Okay.
gonna,
And backhand.
yeah.
Gotcha.
So yeah, now after that, I get on the ship and
Okay.
yell, punch it.
Oh yeah.
So then Gleebek just punches the dashboard.
No, you gotta hit the ignition. Vesper's behind him because Vesper actually knows how to fly a ship. No, you have to hit the ignition.
Yeah.
And, like,
Oh no, I gotta do this
He
thing
already
first.
punched it, which that was the thrusters. None of the locking clamps or anything. And yeah, Gleebek, give me that piloting roll.
We're just gonna make this up on the fly. I think it's a D4.
It's actually, if you don't have strength, it's D4 -2.
Well, I still don't have a functioning sheet, so
Oh, okay. Let's go with the D4 then. D4, D6.
yeah.
Oh, that good.
All right, D4 is a 4, and then second time is a 2, so I got a 6.
Okay.
Oh, wait a minute. And so then, like, he's doing the clicks and moving the levers so that like maglock thing, and so that doors actually close before we like leave atmosphere.
Vesper's
So-
like grabbing the back of a chair and like pulling himself back up after like being thrown to the floor by the first firing of the engine.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Halem, you're able to see that with the door closing and the ramp raising, but you feel the thrusters of this ship go to full burn instantly. There's no attempted acceleration, just, well, you said punch it, they punched it. However, some of the docking clamps are still attached. One of them is basically torn off. The other one that had been compressed holds on a little bit, causing the ship to spin, which in this case means that Dark Jedi is in the wash of those thrusters. You have a chance to see them holding up a hand, keeping the flames at bay, but even that is crisping them around the edges before you lose sight, and the flames presumably pass, and then you're off.
Did Gleebek just cook a Sith?
No. Well, he did, just probably not completion. As, well, the blast doors also weren't down, but fortunately those are about as cheap as the rest of this place, so you go right through that. Minimal damage to the ship, and you are off. And away. With hopefully somebody who can afford high-end mercenaries and happens to evidently be a powerful Sith, doesn't have something like forces waiting in orbit.
Oh, this is fine. That's fine.
I've got a bad feeling about this.
We got to have one every episode.
Every episode.
It's got to happen.
And with that, our group of plucky adventurers have been, against their will, thrust together and towards fate.